afternoon. It's time for the afternoon news radio on Ghana Talk Show. I go by the name Regina Bless. So to our headlines, Ghana Health Service urges a return to wearing of face masks indoors. Assembly destroys illegal structures at Weija Gbawe to tackle flooding. This and more stories coming up. The Ghana Health Service is urging institutions to encourage staff as well as visitors to wear their nose masks. The service is also entreating the unvaccinated public to get their jabs. The Ghana Health Service earlier warned of a surge in the number of COVID-19 cases across the country and emphasized the need to observe the coronavirus protocols to prevent the spread. The Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Esiedu-Bekwin, urged the public to observe the protocols to prevent a new wave of infections. We need to use the mask especially when you are in an enclosed place, because so far as you have a virus being introduced, then you are at risk of getting an infection. So if you are not the only one in the room and the place is enclosed, we will advise that you wear the mask. Dr. Esiedu-Bekwin said, let's go listen to more details of the story.
COVID-19 and the socio-economic dynamics in Ghana saw players in the financial sector and academia gather at the Great Hall of the University of Ghana to trade ideas on how best to revamp the Ghanaian economy after the devastating effects of the coronavirus pandemic. The government says its projections and targets for the year 2020 and 2021 could not be met as a result of the pandemic. To this end, a government mandatory vaccination program was initiated by government to get majority of Ghanaians vaccinated. Government is of the view that with majority of Ghanaians vaccinated, the pandemic will have minimal impact on the economy and lead to high productivity. A few weeks ago, some group of medical practitioners petitioned the president to halt the mandatory vaccination, citing human rights abuses. President Akufo-Addo, however, says the vaccination program will go on as planned.
I want to urge all Ghanaians to get vaccinated and help end the spread of the virus in our country. The science tells us that getting vaccinated is the most efficient way to defeat the virus and go back to our normal way of life, reopen fully our economy, and return our nation onto the path of progress and prosperity. And for the skeptics, they should take note of the data that says that 80% of those who are currently infected are those who have not been vaccinated. That is enough to tell us about the value of vaccination.
The president also announced that next month, the government will sign a deal with some vaccine manufacturing companies to begin local manufacturing in Ghana.
It is not beyond our scientists and pharmaceutical companies whose knowledge and expertise cannot be questioned to produce an indigenous or Ghanaian vaccine to combat the virus. I'm happy to announce that Ghana is on her way to establishing domestic manufacturing plants for the fill, finish, and packaging of COVID-19 vaccine. I will on 16 February, together with His Excellency Monsieur Macky Sall, President of the Republic of Senegal, and His Excellency Mr. Paul Kagame, President of the Republic of Rwanda, inspect in Marburg, Germany, the production facilities that we need to employ to this end. We're going to build a Pan-African project with these two sister African states, where initially the fill and finish plant will be located in Ghana.
So moving to our next story, Assembly destroys illegal structures at Weija Gbawe to tackle flooding. A task force from the Weija Gbawe Municipal Assembly has demolished several temporary structures, including portions of London Bar, a popular nightclub in the area. The move, according to the Assembly, is in line with President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's directive for the demolition of all structures built on waterways to prevent flooding. During the demolition of structures along the old barrier stretch, the municipal chief executive Patrick Kumo indicated that ample time was given to affected persons to relocate. The MCE also promised to crack the whip on assembly staff who relinquished their duties, leading to the springing up of unauthorized structures. The assembly says it will soon embark on another demolition to pull down permanent structures built on waterways in the next phase of the exercise. Moving to our next local story, no woman should accept domestic violence, Reverend Joyce Aryee says. The National Cathedral Board of Trustees member and Executive Director of Salt and Light Ministries, Reverend Dr. Joyce Aryee, has asserted that no woman should condone domestic abuse. She believes the act is unacceptable and that woman doesn't deserve to go through such pain and humiliation. Reverend Dr. Joyce Aryee said, first and foremost, you should report this to your parents, and if it gets too violent, report it to the police, because there has to be some restraint if you are being beaten, because no woman should accept domestic violence. According to her, women is prone to take it lightly the first time it happens, as they may probably think the man is too angry, but if it happens twice and thrice, they should not accept it for the sake of their health and for the sake of the man. If you continue to accept it one day, if he beats you and kills you, he becomes a murderer, so do not accept it. Also, I think that the church is now taking this thing seriously, and I know other female organized institutions who are even making room for domestically abused wives to move away from the home to a shelter where they are provided with care and so on, she added. So moving to our next story, thousands stranded as flood watchers blocked Takoradi-Agona-Tarkwa highway. There was a gridlock at the Takoradi-Agona-Tarkwa highway on Tuesday evening, June 21st. This followed a flooding situation following a downpour in that part of the western region. The development has left thousands of commuters stranded, with many seeking refuge in nearby schools and shelters to pass the night. There was a traffic build-up. There was a traffic build-up over at least a 15-kilometer stretch. A few vehicles which tried to attempt to force their way through the rising waters were also submerged. However, no casualty has been recorded. So we're going on a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with the business and political news. Stay tuned.
We bring you local news, business news, international, sports, and entertainment news. Right here on GTR.
This is DJ Kobirich, the richest selector. Join me and my co-host Ohima Lillian and Alaji Zongu as guests on Impunimpu Debate Show. Last week we discussed the topic, should construction of the National Cathedral be a priority for Ghana? And the debate was very hot. Let's listen to what happened.
Okay.
Naya shwe.
Body bedang.
Yabafa ye nisi to form.
Ubeda do ni aza to form.
Nisi ade ya fa awafa wa nisi to form na wa hu ba bia ndia wa kwasi.
Body me do to form ahede ya ko.
No.
All right.
This Friday we are discussing another interesting topic. Do drug addicts need help or punishment? Join the show by watching us live on Facebook. You can also send your comments via our WhatsApp number +233 202 544 614. Listen back to the show on www.ghanatalksradio.com. Ghana Talks Radio, giving the youth a voice.
Welcome back from the break. If you just joined your live on Ghana Talks Radio, and this is the afternoon. So moving to some business story. Negotiate for tax reliefs rather than COLA. Austin Gama tells NAGRAT. A labor consultant, Austin Gama, says the National Association of Graduate Teachers should rather call for tax breaks rather than its push for the payment of cost of living allowances. According to him, the payment of COLA will not be a sustainable way of cushioning workers from the current harsh economic challenges. He said the demand for COLA may worsen inflationary pressures on the Ghanaian economy and further exacerbate the current situation the workers want compensation for. I would prefer that the working people go in for some kind of tax breaks on the pay as you earn, so that everyone will have some cushioning and some money in their pocket. That will be a better way to do it. Government will not suffer any additional trouble by way of inflation as a result of that adjustment on wages, he added. Deliberate policies needed to support local entrepreneurs and businesses, Ahomka-Lindsay say. A former Trade and Industry Minister, Robert Ahomka, says the government must take aggressive actions to encourage the country's entrepreneurs. According to him, Ghana is losing many of its entrepreneurs and businesses people to other countries due to lack of support. Speaking on the 4th Week Forum, he said the consistent migration of the entrepreneurs and skilled labor out of the country is affecting Ghana's ability to achieve sustained economic growth. He said there is the need for a political drive towards supporting local businesses to thrive in order to propel the growth of the economy. There is a brain drain and we are losing skilled people. We have lost a bit of momentum. This is not a debate about NDC or NPP. This is Ghana. We need to start having this discussion. If we keep importing, we will keep having problems. We have to support our entrepreneurs. We have to make tough decisions, he said. Moving to our next political story, NPP has real issues that need fixing to break the eight. Former Member of Parliament for Suhum and a General Secretary hopeful in the governing NPP, Frederick Opare-Ansah, says he has what it takes to ensure that the party wins the 2024 election should he be given the nod. For him, the incumbent General Secretary has not been up to the task to regionalize and position the party to be successful in its Break the Eight agenda. The current leadership led by the chairman Freddie Blay and General Secretary John Boydu is credited for bringing President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo into power in 2016 with a historic 1 million vote gap and returning him in 2020. But Mr. Opare-Ansah said the current leadership has not done enough because there are clear signs that the party needs fixing. I think that our party needs to be fixed first before anybody thinks of riding it to win power. I have seen how some party folks are losing faith, and I think that we need to find space to remotivate the party base to be able to recapture power for the solutions that we hold to retain our party in the party. I, Opare-Ansah, have the answers, he added. So moving to our next political story, Ashaiman MP to sue government for sole sourcing National Cathedral contracts. The Member of Parliament for Ashaiman MP is set to sue the government over its decision to sole source the architectural design contract for the National Cathedral to Sir David and Associates Limited. Mr. Aryee argued that sole sourcing the contract breached procurement processes. I do not have much difficulty in the construction of the cathedral, but what I do have is procurement breaches in granting single source approval to the consultants in this regard. And so basically, that is my only challenge. So the Office of the President wrote a letter to the Public Procurement Authority seeking approval under the single source method. The precondition under which they wrote the letters was under 72 of Article 5B, which states that you can only do that under emergency situation. But I am wondering what is urgent about this contract that we have to go by single source. Moving to some international story, mass disruption hits UK as rail workers launch biggest strike in decades. Rush hour commuters in the UK faced chaos on Tuesday as railway workers launched the network's biggest strike in more than 3 decades, forcing people to trek to work on foot, by bike, bus, or simply not bother at all. The RMT Rail Union argues the strikes are necessary as wages have failed to keep pace with UK inflation, which has hit a 40-year high and is on course to keep rising. Last-ditch talks to avert the work stoppage broke down on Monday, meaning more than 50,000 RMT members will walk out for 3 days this week. Train and London Underground stations, normally a sea of people for the morning rush to work, were deserted or even locked, which is just a skeleton service running on many networks across the country. Passengers were warned not to travel all week, with 2 more days of strike action scheduled for Thursday and Saturday, wreaking havoc to schedules. Prince William, Kate Middleton, most glamorous royal couple, perfection. So Prince William and Kate Middleton are the most glamorous royal couple, says expert on the occasion of his 40th birthday. Expert Richard Fitzwilliams has branded the Duke of Cambridge and his wife Kate Middleton perfection. He told Daily Star Prince William's inspiration, as he has said, is the Queen, his partnership with Catherine, and the way they work together on charitable issues and on foreign tours is perfection. Catherine has not only been wonderfully supportive, but has also grown in confidence, especially as a speaker. They are also the world's most glamorous royal couple. This helps spread the word and is also useful for soft power as the government uses their visit abroad to promote goodwill, he concluded. So moving to our next entertainment story, Kim Kardashian mom rules restrict North from having social media. Kim Kardashian is touching upon parental boundaries she draws with her kids. Speaking on Tuesday with host Hoda and Jenna Bush, the 41-year-old reality star revealed that her elder daughter does not have social media. Kim, who owns a joint account with her 8-year-old North on TikTok, believes her child is too young to have the apps on her phone. It's just her Wi-Fi, so it's not like she can really use it or doesn't have. You know, she has games on it and fun creative things, Kim told host Hoda and Jenna Bush Hager, but not really any social media apps or anything. She is still too young for that, added Kim. So the Skims founder statement comes after a social media war with ex-husband Kanye West, where the latter protested over not presence on TikTok. So since this is my first divorce, I need to know what I should do about my daughter being put on TikTok against my will. So this is where we end the afternoon news radio on Ghana Talk Show. I go by the name Regina Bless. Stay tuned for the lunchtime rhythm.